Hello, my name is Omar Boston, and this is my strategic individual capstone presentation. This presentation is a culmination of my strategic knowledge integration course, but also my MBA program with Robert Morris University. My capstone presentation will be an analysis of the Bank of New York Mellon, an American financial institution that has been a long-standing global fixture of the financial industry. In this presentation, I will go through three sections that will provide a brief but accurate reflection of my analysis and strategic issues that can be remediated if executed with the same urgency at which the bank operates currently. Let's dive in and begin with a quick purpose statement. This analysis reflects my personal recommendations of resolutions to strategic organizational issues that could be a solution for the Bank of New York Mellon. This presentation will capture the scope of the issues I have perceived as needing defined with resolution. As a disclaimer, I am currently employed with the Bank of New York Mellon, and to avoid any concern, all information I share will be only publicly available information that can be found via the appendix and references at the end of this presentation. A quick history of the Bank of New York Mellon. It has been in operation for over 240 years as of this month. It was the first business to ever be traded on the New York Stock Exchange, and it came into its namesake through a merger completed in 2007 with the Pittsburgh-originated Mellon Financial Corporation. I myself have been employed at BNY Mellon for 4 years and joined at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. I currently serve as a project manager with the Treasury Services Division and believe I have a unique perspective on some of the strategic issues internally and the resolutions that can be executed for improvement. Strategic issues I have identified all fall under organizational inefficiency. Strategically, the bank creates, captures, and delivers value in various ways to remain a leading global custodian bank. Strategic issues are common with entities that operate at this size, and BNY Mellon is no exception. Employee satisfaction is the first inefficiency that comes to mind, as many folks believe that the bank can do better at making employees feel valued. Organizational transparency falls in line next, as there have been a number of instances where decisions or mandates have been decided and much information has not been shared before an expected response is required. Lastly, modernized banking practices that can aid in competitive advantage should be explored and applied. To resolve these issues, I believe actions such as active listening with intentional implementation can improve employee satisfaction. In recent months, new core principles have been introduced and centered around the idea of being more for our clients. This is an effort to hold everyone accountable and put emphasis on client experience. Modernizing banking practices will provide more opportunities to interact with these clients and improve the way the bank receives value on an external and internal basis. The value found in the external environment is where I'll move on to. The Bank of New York Mellon primarily operates in the global financial services markets. The industry structure is a complex and vast network of banks, lending service providers, wealth management and funds, investment and insurance companies that make it exceedingly difficult to know the exact size of the industry. Estimation is the most common measurement, with an emphasis on metrics like assets under management, market capitalization, and market size. Results vary, but the consensus is that the financial sector makes up about 25% of the world's economy. Major changes are on the horizon for the financial sector as old and new variables clutter the turbulent landscape. Large firms like BNY Mellon need to contend with high interest rates, emerging tech, and environmental factors that still persist following the COVID-19 pandemic. Rival firms like JP Morgan and Chase are cited as the largest financial service company in the United States, while State Street Corporation focuses on a direct competitor in this institutional investors space to BNY Mellon. Lastly, the Bank of America, with its vast number of retail investment services, provides a challenge to BNY Mellon's position in that space as well. The financial services industry has always been a competitive and high stakes game. Various forces play a role in how the industry is able to remain a pivotal piece of the global economy. One force is the growth of digital technologies, especially within finance. Another glaring force is the controversial geopolitical climate that consistently brings the financial economy into question. For BNY Mellon, the force that seems to have the most impact, in my opinion, is that of demographic diversity. I believe this force has been applying the most pressure to BNY Mellon because of the continued growth that emerging markets have seen over the last 10 to 20 years. The dynamics of working age population ratios across the world have shifted and will continue to fall out of favor of BNY Mellon's largest revenue producing market, the US. Recognizing this trend, BNY Mellon has begun to extend their presence in emerging markets such as India and South American countries like Brazil and Peru. The financial services industry is highly attractive and will be as long as money in all of its forms remains a commodity that is recognized across all markets and industries. The introduction of generative AI has provided a glimpse into how financial institutions and service providers can utilize this technology to perform predictive analysis that can change the way consumers, investors, and corporations operate. The Bank of New York Mellon has been making strides into introducing its own AI technology to investment banking and priming themselves in the next generation of professionals with the opportunity to expand and thrive in the future landscape of the financial services. The analysis of its external environment represents a few of the challenges and opportunities that are ever present for this great organization. Considering the external environment only views half of the picture for my analysis. I'll now transition into the factors of internal environment and how these forces further shape BNY Mellon's strategic issue. BNY Mellon and firms in their atmosphere of operation reflect similar messages of client-focused service, accountability, and superior investment opportunities. What stands out to the top firms is the industry is a great leadership. Some of the top bankers and financial minds lead these organizations and are revered as the top authorities when it comes to economic stability. Speaking on matters of the economic state or future forecasts on fintech and banks, growth is always at the forefront of conversations when the leaders are asked for an opinion. BNY Mellon has continued to grow in profitability in its largest segments, boasting a 24% net interest revenue growth rate year over year, while exceeding the standards set on earnings to common shareholders with 127% return on dividends and buybacks in 2023. As 2024 continues, I foresee BNY Mellon continuing to show its strength and remain an industry leader. Coincidentally, the top firms like BNY Mellon all operate with the same parameters to remain market leaders. The strength of both BNY Mellon and JP Morgan is a strong global presence, operating in markets across the world and leading through strong brand recognition. Similarly, both firms also contend with intense regulatory pressures as a weakness to their operational bottom line. Opportunities exploring emerging markets for BNY Mellon and State Street Corp result in tapping into new sources of revenue and diversifying its business geographically in areas like Asia, South America, and India. While the threat of economic volatility remains as a reminder that prolonged periods of economic uncertainty or recession could lead to lower investment activity and reduced demand for financial services. BNY Mellon remains true to its core competency to ensure it weathers any storms. Custody in asset servicing is what I believe to be its true core competency. The bank offers asset servicing solutions, which leads to custody, fund accounting, securities lending, and other related services. This then becomes a value creation for our clients in generating revenue streams that sustain our operations. One of several value chain activities that BNY Mellon executes daily has resulted in the company being ranked as one of the top financial service firms in the world. The continued investment in its human capital resources is another value chain activity that BNY Mellon can execute for the growth of industry leaders and superior client servicing. Operating in more than 100 markets worldwide, BNY Mellon serves a diverse range of clients and benefits from various economic conditions in different regions. BNY Mellon's strong global presence is a result to their direct approach to international markets entry, utilizing a centralized, multi-divisional, informed structure, has yielded the organizational strength in markets abroad and continues to work in the favor of the bank. Internally at BNY, it adheres to the HR statement. Our human resources policies comply with local concerning employment laws and individual rights in every country in which we operate. We collaborate with our communities and our suppliers to encourage cultural, economic, and social development. This is a stance that is applied globally throughout the enterprise, and it reflects the culture and expectations of all employees, partners, and vendors the bank works with. Both the Code of Conduct and ESG statements reflect the culture and expectations of attitudes toward ethical behavior and social responsibility, doing what's right, and we consider everything. I believe, as one of the world's largest custodians, we have an unparalleled view on the environmental, social, governance trends, and responsibility to create and pursue the best results. In conclusion, this capstone course has forced me to realign my understanding of how much I knew about the strategic intra-workings of a corporation. As I began to outline this project, I recognized that not only did I need to research more thoroughly my own organization, but I also needed to refresh my memory on some of the methods and frameworks learned in past courses. While doing that, I also reflected on my own experiences at BNY Mellon and the recommendations I needed to address. The knowledge I received from this program and my career have gone hand in hand in preparing me to aim higher and climb further in my pursuit of greatness. My recommendations of improved human resource capital, doing the right thing, and modernizing banking practices all represent areas of this analysis that represent my perspective of a working professional and now a strategically educated MBA graduate. My recommendations can be shared and reviewed, but ultimately, the implementation of them is left up to our executive leadership team, who has continued to push our firm higher and further than ever before. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the rest of your summer.